And welcome once again to another episode of Stu Ham Productions Presents
J&M Solve the World. I am James.
And I am Matt. And this week's episode is our Thanksgiving episode.
Looks like Halloween.
Yes. But these are the skulls of our victims. Or past co-hosts, however you want to look at it, because they don't want to come down and play anymore.
Was that Andrew?
No, I think this is more Andy.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. So, sad news. Avila lost their game on Saturday.
As we record this is
Saturday
the 17th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? I've got to give mad props to the team. First time in Avila history, they won conference. First time in Avila history that they went to the playoffs.
Nice.
Yeah. They were ranked number 4 in the nation for NAIA.
It's all because your nephew was there.
The narcissist in me would say yes, he had a huge part in that. But the realistic side of it is he's just a player on the team. Mm-hmm. And one of their wide receiver, running back, something like that, NAIA Offensive Player of the Year.
Nice.
If I'm not mistaken.
Cool.
Probably am, but...
well, if you are, it'll be up there somewhere.
Yeah. Because that's what I do. I fact checked us.
Right.
We can't do it live, so we're going to do it in post.
Yeah. But you can't fact check the After Dark.
Right.
So we're just talking shit there. So
well, but a lot of times with the After Darks, though,
we can fact check it right when we're doing it. Yeah.
At the moment, we're like, nope, you're full of shit.
Until we get a bigger budget and have a young JB look that shit up for me. So,
yeah,
that's when we'll have a computer screen back here. Well, not a computer screen, but a
big ass fucking 48-inch TV that we've got a computer linked up to. Yeah. So, like I said.
But the good news.
Yes.
Midterms are fucking over.
Oh, God. Thank God.
Of course, you don't watch regular TV, but I'm so glad that the fucking commercials are over. Well, for a year. They're gonna ramp back up in about another year for the
presidential
2024 election. Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw where former President Donald Trump has said that he's running in 2024.
Yeah. Yeah. There's even been a little blowback from some of his supporters on that deal.
Yeah.
So it's just.
No, wrong one. There we go. But I mean, okay, here's the thing. I don't care.
I would like to see somebody in their 40s, 50s, even 60s, maybe run. Because it's kind of like, I love my grandparents. I love my mom and stuff when she was in her 80s and 90s, but wouldn't want to run in the country.
No. No, and it's like the current administration. Mm-hmm. Either he doesn't have good handlers or he doesn't pay attention to them, because a lot of the shit he says. Okay. I was watching President Obama's correspondence dinner in 2014. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2014. and he was talking about Joe giving the shoulder rubs and giving a great shoulder rub. Little creepy, but it feels good. And you're the vice president, bro, and you've got the president saying that in public.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I'll say this about President Obama. The guy was very charismatic.
He, at least when he spoke, whether you agreed with what his politics were or whatever, he was a very intelligent man, and he could speak.
And at the correspondence dinner, he was making fun of himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about all the stuff that a president has to do, and he's like, and then I got to find time to pray 5 times a day. And I mean, if you're into what everybody was saying about him being a Muslim,
yeah.
And he's like, you know how hard it is to try to find East in the White House when you're in the West Wing. But the whole reason why I watched it was Keegan-Michael Key from Key and Peele was his angry translator. like that skit that they did on Key and Peele. And I mean, it was just fucking hilarious.
I like that skit. I like that skit they done on SNL back when Obama was a president. And they had the guy playing Obama as the president, and his handler or whatever was talking to him. He's like, "Don't you ever get mad about the things they say to you?" And
yeah.
And that was the one that The Rock was on, and he turned into the Rock Obama.
Yeah, yeah. It was Jay Farrow.
Yeah,
because he did a great Obama impersonation. But yeah, I mean that was funny.
Yeah,
and I mean
what I like too. I mean, even Bob Dole. I can't.
Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald used to do the Bob Dole impersonation.
Yeah.
Bob Dole actually showed up on the fucking show.
Right. Well,
hell, for that matter, Sarah Palin even showed up on the show.
Oh my God. Everything
I think Hillary showed up on Saturday Night Live too. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, with comedians, because that's their job.
Yeah.
They make fun of whoever's fucking in office.
Right.
Or whoever's running or whatever. And if you get all tit hurt about it.
Well, I mean, with the past presidents, whether it be Clinton, Bush, Obama, any of the politicians.
1,000 points a lie.
Yeah. I mean, but it was all in fun. And what I disagreed with, like Alec Baldwin doing Trump, it wasn't in fun. It was more degrading. And I'm not backing former President Trump or anything like that because I'm not doing a political stand.
Right.
But it's like you can't do one without the other.
Right.
Because the moment you put your political views in there, you alienate the other side.
Exactly.
Dolly Parton, recent Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee.
Congratulations, Dolly.
She is now a rock star, as she has said.
Yep. Did you see the video where they're singing Jolene and Rob Halford and I forget who all was on stage with her singing that song?
No, and as we're recording, they're actually doing the Hall of Fame on HBO and HBO Max.
Right.
Tonight.
But I seen the video because the Hall of Fame induction was a couple weeks ago. It said Rob Halford sings with Dolly Parton. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I clicked on it. I was like, wow, this is cool.
Well, and he has stated he did an interview on, Ozzy's Boneyard, and he was talking about, that was one of the things that he was really looking forward to, at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony was seeing Dolly.
Didn't she initially say she wasn't going to accept it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because she's not a rock star.
Right. And I think Rob, in that article I read before I watched the video, he said something about they call it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So They just need to call it the Music Hall of Fame.
Right.
You know, because there's a lot of people in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that are not
rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Um,
I mean, you can go down the list. There's plenty of blues artists. Of course, if you want to go down a rabbit hole, you can say, well, rock and roll came from the blues and came
Right.
from whatever. That's true. You know, I mean, Elvis was singing African American church music, basically, when that style he came from, because
Yeah.
a lot of people, when they just heard him on the gospel,
yeah.
and they heard it, you know, they heard him on the radio doing his Elvis songs, and they're going, who's this black guy?
Right. Well,
Yeah.
and at the same time, you know, a lot of people said that Elvis was a racist and he stole the black man's music, but he was the first one to open white America's eyes, if you will, to
Right.
that type of music.
That's why a lot of white America said, no, you know, and Ed Sullivan, we can't film him from the waist down, you know.
Yeah.
It's waist up.
Right.
You know.
You know, and I saw part of Dr. Dre's induction speech on Eminem. And first time he heard Eminem, he thought he was black.
Yeah. Who was that? I'm trying to remember now. It's back in the 50s. You'll have to look this up. But he played the Apollo.
Okay.
He was white as could be.
Okay.
I want to say Jerry Lee or somebody like that. But there was almost a riot.
Yeah.
And then he started playing because there's this white boy comes out there at the Apollo.
Right.
And they're like, what the fuck's this shit? They started playing. They're like, oh,
Well,
that's the guy doing this music we're hearing on the radio.
Yeah.
Okay.
well, I know Jerry Lee and Little Richard
Mhm.
did a tour together.
Mm.
And they were switching off and on who was headlining and who was opening.
Right. Probably one of the first co-headlining deals.
Right. And it was one night Jerry Lee wanted to headline,
Mhm.
but Little Richard was headlining.
Mhm.
So Jerry Lee played a set and then he set his piano on fire and he continued to play.
All right.
And he walked off stage, he walked backstage and he told Little Richard,
Top
follow
that.
that. Yeah, top that shit. Little known fact.
Mhm.
Did you know that a young Jimi Hendrix was in Little Richard's band?
I've heard that. Yes.
Because Little Richard lived outside of Nashville. And of course, Jimi Hendrix was part of the 101st back in the 60s.
Mhm.
1st Brigade, 327 Regiment. You guys know it. And Little Richard didn't like Jimmy getting the attention. So he's like, hey, man, you should really go off on your own.
And he did.
Oh, he did. You know, and Hendrix has been dead for fucking 50 years now,
Yeah.
at least.
At least, well,
And he's been putting out new music every couple of years.
yeah. Yeah, maybe him and Elvis are with the aliens and just, you know, chilling.
Yeah. Yeah. Hendrix and Elvis and Jim Morrison and Janis Joplin. See, now that's what's funny is Janis doesn't put out a new album.
Yeah, you haven't heard any new Janis since she's passed. I don't.
No.
Not that you know, maybe a year or two after or something.
Yeah.
There was the unreleased music or something.
And a lot of the quote unquote new Jim Morrison music with the Doors is him, like his poetry read over music.
Okay. Yeah, because he wrote a lot of poetry.
Oh yeah. Now with Prince, you know, they've put out new Prince music since he died, but there's enough music in his vault
Right.
that you can release an album every month for a year, or I'm sorry, for the next 20 years.
Right. That's crazy.
And he played all the instruments, and they're fully produced and mixed and engineered and everything like that. and he just said, "Fuck it."
Right.
Kevin Smith talked about on one of his spoken word tours that
Kevin Smith.
Yeah,
no, it's probably spoken word. You said it right the first time.
But he was shooting a documentary for Prince, and he got done, edited it and everything, and they sent the Prince to Prince, and he put it in his vault because he didn't want it released. He liked it, he thought it was great, but he didn't want it released.
It's like, so when I go meet Elvis and the rest of the aliens, you guys can release it then.
Yeah. When I go meet Elvis and Xenu.
Freddie Mercury, when he got diagnosed with AIDS, that's all he did was went in the studio and they just started recording shit.
Yeah.
You know. And some of that's been released since, but you know, who knows how much is still.
Brian May knew, I wanted to say the band knew that he was HIV positive, but the world didn't find out until like 3 or 4 days before he died.
Right.
And it's like, wow.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if there was no Freddie Mercury, there would be no Judas Priest. There would be no Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
There's so many bands that would not be around without Queen.
How many bands would be around without Hendrix?
Right.
How many guitar players would not have been around?
You know, and like, you know,
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh God.
Yeah, no.
That guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When a guitar player.
So that's why I'm not going to ever quit drinking. Because Stevie Ray Vaughan cleaned his shit up, quit drinking, quit doing coke. And then it wasn't 6 months later, he died in a fucking helicopter crash.
Was it a helicopter crash or a plane crash?
One or the other. It was something up in the air that didn't end well.
I'll find out, and I'll put it right up there.
His guitar survived, though.
Yes, because SRV-1 is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
And it was, oh my God. So clickbait's been going around. Somebody built they're calling it it's a tribute to Eddie Van Halen's. They're calling it a Frankenstein. Well, Eddie had a Frankenstrat. That's what it's called.
Right.
But this guy did like an exact copy, but then it's all gloss black and flat black instead of the red, black, and white or the black and yellow. Yeah, I mean it's taped up.
I just seen one on Facebook. It's the black and yellow.
Okay. Now the original one, the original Bumblebee, as Eddie called it, that's sitting 6 foot under the ground.
Yeah, the Dimebag.
That's right. Because an original deserved an original.
But I can't remember what company it is that's putting it out. I just see an advertisement, you know.
Probably Kramer.
I think so. Yeah, I think
because
so.
I know Eddie played with Kramer for the longest time, and then he switched to PV.
Right.
And that's when the Wolfgang series came out, and the 5150, because of course PV does his amps and everything.
Right.
So. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Wasn't cheap.
No.
Like $1,800.
Because I know Eddie had told, when he had met Dime, when the Van Halen brothers met the Abbott brothers, Eddie had told Dime that, let him in, that I think it was Kramer was starting to do those guitars, and Eddie was going to tape up the guitar that was going to become Dime's. And of course, Dime's untimely passing.
Right.
Which led Eddie to give Dime the black and yellow on the back of Van Halen 2.
Yep.
Yep.
And like they said, if you told Dime, it's like, when you die, Eddie Van Halen's going to put the original guitar from Van Halen 2 in your coffin. He just said, kill me now.
Right. Speaking of Dime, saw an interview with Zakk Wylde, and he was saying that the guitars he's playing on that tribute tour
Right.
are the guitars that Dime gave him.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Cool.
He's not playing his guitars. They're his guitars, but they're guitars that Dime gave
Dime
him.
gave him. Okay.
Yes.
So it'll be Dean's, Washburns,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I would love to see Zakk walk out with a fucking Washburn Culprit.
Yeah.
Because those are fucking awesome, by the way. Bringing it back around, and that's one of the things that I'm thankful for.
Ah, there you go.
I am thankful for Pantera.
Yep.
Because without them, my youth, God knows where I would be without Pantera.
Right.
I mean, I went as far as gotten the CFH tattooed.
Right.
And yeah.
Good.
So there we go.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, it's like, what if Metallica hadn't fired Dave Mustaine? We wouldn't have Megadeth.
No. And I don't think we would have Metallica. I don't think Metallica would have became the juggernaut that they are.
They might not have,
What if Sabbath never fired Ozzy?
Yeah. Would they have kept going and we would have all that Ozzy music that we got?
Had Maiden not fired Paul Di'Anno and hired Bruce Dickinson, would Maiden be where they are? I mean, Steve Harris, the bass player, he wrote a lot of the music, but Bruce's voice, he is Iron Maiden.
Right. I'm trying to remember if I've heard any of the Paul Di'Anno Maiden stuff.
I mean, I've heard a lot of it, but it's like live versions and Bruce is singing it.
No, I've heard that, but I'm trying to remember if I've ever heard any recorded.
Actual. Yeah. I mean, there's Killer, or the self-titled first album, Iron Maiden, and then there's Killers. There's some great tracks on Killers. There's some great tracks on Iron Maiden, but I prefer Bruce Dickinson. But I mean, that's like Sabbath. I prefer Ozzy for that early stuff. Not to say that the Dio stuff isn't bad,
right? But
and
War Pigs, Iron Man, I mean, classics. Little Sweet Leaf.
Yeah. But Heaven and Hell is a good track. It's like Van Halen. If they never got rid of Dave and hired Sammy, we wouldn't have the chart toppers.
Right. Because
Top of the World.
Honestly, you got to say, I mean, those albums with Sammy were bigger than anything they'd done before.
Commercially, they were more successful than all the previous Van Halen stuff.
I mean, 1984 was their biggest album to date. Yep. Then they got rid of Dave, and then 5150 came out. It was even bigger than that.
5150 kind of got that vibe like Stomp 44 Deuce from Anthrax.
Okay.
Because Stomp 44 Deuce was the first album with John
Bush.
Sound of White Noise was the first album with John Bush.
Okay.
Stomp 44 Deuce was the one between it and Volume 8. and it just kind of went by the wayside. It was just kind of like, meh. Because after 5150 came OU 812, and that was fucking huge. You know, same sort of thing. Had they not gotten rid of Neil Turpin and Anthrax
for unlawful carnal knowledge,
there you go. You know, had they not gotten, you know, fired Neil and hired Joey and Anthrax, we wouldn't have, you know, the Among the Living album, the State of Euphoria album. You know,
well, if they hadn't hired Scotty, then we wouldn't have had the John Bush era. Because he was wanting to take it in a heavier direction that he didn't think Joey could do it.
Yeah, well,
That's kind of where that conflict came from, and
but they didn't hire Scott. Scott and Charlie started the band.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, if it hadn't been for Scott's decision, saying
right, and then in the John Bush era is when
but then Joey proved when he came back, I can do that shit too.
Right. But in the John Bush era, that's when we got the collaboration of the 6th member of Anthrax,
Right,
Mr. Dimebag Daryl Lance Abbott, rest in peace. What are you thankful for this year?
What am I thankful for this year?
Not non-music wise, because it seems like our
we went off on a tangent there.
yeah.
I'm thankful for this. Get this podcast started, and
Yeah.
you and I reconnecting, and
More so I would say more so this year than the last couple of years I've been back in Missouri.
right.
Because it's I mean it's almost like we're carrying on that legacy, because he who shall not be named will never be part of the legacy again.
No.
God knows where Pip is.
Yeah.
Chris, I would love to have him sitting here.
Exactly.
You know, and that would just be amazing.
Yep.
But I mean, other than that, it's been amazing. It's been great.
I mean, nothing. I am thankful for my wife and Amanda living back up here on the back side of the place. You know, and that's.
You got your brother down the road.
Brother down the road. Got my nephew's going to be moving in like April down the road.
For a little bit further down the road.
Just,
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of shit to bitch about, but life's pretty good.
You know, it's like beating a dead horse.
Right.
It ain't going to get you nowhere, and generally no one's going to listen.
Yep. You know, everybody bitch about the gas prices, but guess what? They're coming down.
Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely. But.
Yeah. And what is sad is we're happy when gas is under $3 a gallon.
That's what they do to us.
Yeah.
We'll put it up over $4 a gallon. Some motherfuckers are going to be happy when it's $2.89.
Yeah. When 20 years ago we were bitching when gas was like $2.
Mm-hmm. Of course, you think
20 years ago the cost of living wasn't that high either.
But your wages weren't that high either.
Oh God. 20. You know what? 20 years.
What was you making an hour 20 years ago?
2002. I got to think of where I was living at.
You were in Phoenix, weren't you?
No, this time in 2002, I was back in Kansas City. I was working at Walmart, and I think I was making like $10.50 an hour or some shit like that.
Which was pretty good back then.
Yeah. Yeah. Not in today's standards.
No. That's what I'm saying. It's all kind of relative. Everybody harps on. You see those posts. It's like, oh, these are the prices from 1973. It's like, yeah, what was you bringing home in 1973?
Right.
I remember my brother Gary. He worked at Northcutt Ford in the early 70s. he was bringing home, if I remember right, like $90 a week. And he was a mechanic.
Yeah.
You know. So, you know.
Well, it's like, okay, World War II.
Mm-hmm.
The guys that volunteered for airborne duty,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they did it because they got an extra $50 a month.
Right.
You know what
To
airborne?
jump out of a goddamn plane.
Yeah, and you know what airborne gets now? $150 extra a month.
Really?
Yeah, hasn't went up that much.
Yeah, they need to figure that shit out a little bit.
But you're not necessarily jumping out of a plane. You're just kind of gracefully falling.
Right. But what's the base pay now compared to what it was
Oh fuck you!
in World War II? You know? I mean,
Well, okay, E1 base pay today. I don't know what it is, but I'll put it right there. I know my base pay whenever I got out in 2014 as an E6 with 16 years time in service was over $3,000 a month. And that's not counting my housing allowance on top.
right.
Yeah.
Not bad.
No, not at all. I made enough in housing allowance that it paid my mortgage and my utilities.
There you go.
Yeah. So there's that.
And then there's that. Shout out, Howie.
I'm thankful that my father is still with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had it a little bit rougher with losing your mom during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because you weren't there.
I wasn't there. Yeah.
You know, losing a parent sucks, regardless of time period or anything like that. But I am very fortunate that I'm a little bit closer. I live a little bit closer to one of my brothers than you do.
Yeah. Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah.
Underneath.
Yeah. But, you know, my other brother lives out in Phoenix. And I don't get to see him that often. But, you know, I'm thankful that my family we get along.
That's good.
Yeah. I mean, I know I've got a stepbrother and I've got a half sister, but the nucleus has always been my two brothers and I. Regardless of where we've been, it's always been us.
Right.
I love this. I really do. Now, see, with the camera moved, we can't see world.
Oh, man. It's J&M solve the.
Yeah, well, but we're solving all kinds of things, though.
Yeah, we are. That's why we record this, so we'll remember what we solved.
Yeah. And it'll be on the internet.
Yeah.
And nobody forgets what's on the internet.
Yeah, no. If they're looking for the truth, they can find us. Because we always speak the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
As far as we know it.
Yes. According to us.
In our opinion.
Yes. Now, if you are listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music Podcast, or Google Podcast, you should really check out YouTube, because then you get to see what our ugly mugs look like.
They can see that on Spotify too.
Yeah. Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
If they watch.
If they watch.
Yes.
Yep.
All the extras that we put up, like right up in here, down in here, you know, all the fact checking.
Right.
And when I fact check, I don't
Sometimes our
use.
brains are a little numb by the time we do this.
It's a little late in the night, and we may or may not have been drinking.
Maybe.
I mean, we may or may not have our own decanter.
There was something in this earlier, wasn't there?
I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not 100%.
Of course, we had to have a little band practice tonight.
Yeah. That went really well.
Yep.
Sort of.
Sort of.
I mean,
Yeah, there's a few brain farts there.
yeah.
I always said back when we were playing, it's like, man, you guys doing good? It's like, man, there's a bunch of brain farts. I'm glad they don't stink because.
Yeah. Well, but we always, and that's the thing.
But if you forget it, fake it, and keep on fucking rock and roll.
That's right.
You know,
You got to fake it till you make it.
exactly.
You know, as long as you look good doing it.
Especially when you're playing original songs, just like unless they're your loyal followers that's been with you at band practice, they don't know what you're supposed to do there.
Right. I mean, I guarantee if we were to have two of the other members of the band and we were playing it differently than what it was written, they wouldn't know.
Right.
They would have to go along with us.
It'd be like, okay.
Yeah. What are we tuned?
Oh, we've decided to go fucking drop C on this shit, man.
Yeah.
You know, I talked to Chris. Oh, it's been several years ago about music, about the band and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I just can't sing like that anymore. So maybe a drop C might help him out. I don't know.
Or drop D.
Or drop D anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were starting to do some drop D stuff right before it all kind of went away.
Right.
Doing some Godsmack and some Union Underground. And,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
I was not aware that you did at Union Underground.
Yeah, we did. So one step closer to the edge. I'm about to break. Was that Union Underground?
No, it's Lincoln Park.
Lincoln Park. Okay, but there was a Union Underground song we did. I can't remember what it was now.
Mr. Oh, God. Yeah. I hear the song in my head. But speaking of Union Underground and going back to the bands switching singers, John Corabi with Motley Crue. Had they called that anything but Motley Crue?
Been great.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But it was Motley Crue.
Yeah.
And Motley Crue is,
Vince Neil's vocals.
yeah, skinny Vince Neil.
Skinny Vince Neil. Yeah.
Yeah. Cocaine riddled Vince Neil.
He sounded great back then.
Yeah, now
I guess they're going back out with Def Leppard next summer.
yeah, for a band that has called it quits, they've sure been on the road a lot.
John Five's supposed to play guitar.
I heard that.
Yep. There was rumors about it, and he denied it, and da-da-da-da-da. But then finally it came out that Mick Myers is retiring because he just can't
Perform.
physically do the road anymore. He can perform, but he just can't
Yeah.
do the road and perform and all that. And hats off to you, Mick. I mean, great guitarist.
Yep.
Love your stuff. But John Five actually, in an article I read online, because I'm sure it's probably true,
Of course.
but supposedly John Five is gonna fill in on this tour for him.
I saw that. You know, Sabbath has said that they'll never tour again. But if you've heard the new Ozzy album, there's the track with Tony Iommi playing guitar. Yeah, that could have been a fucking Sabbath tune. You know, and Ozzy has talked to Bill Ward. And,
Of course, Ozzy's almost said that he can't tour anymore.
Yes.
You know,
Like tour
physically.
like they used to.
Right.
Anyways. So
I mean, I know how I feel when I drive 500 fucking miles. I would want to like ride 500 fucking miles and then put on a show that night and then ride another 500 fucking miles to the next place at my age. And I'm way younger than Ozzy.
yeah.
I don't look it, but I am.
Oh fuck. And you're not as and he's had all those ailments too.
And I didn't do all the drugs either.
Right. But then all the ailments and everything that he's had. That last surgery he had, he's talked about it. He's had to have a surgeon go in and fix what that other surgeon did.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at 70-some years old, that's not a good thing.
No. And then he had COVID on top of everything. And because if you look at that halftime show he did for the season opener for the Rams, he wasn't moving around like Ozzy normally did.
No.
Sounded great.
What sucked was they were like, yeah, the halftime coming up with Ozzy Osbourne. They showed like 30 fucking seconds on TV.
Yeah.
It's like, why'd you even mention it if you weren't going to show at least one song? I mean, shit.
Right. And they did Crazy Train, and of course, Zach was there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it was Duff McKagan and Chad Smith.
Mm-hmm. You got the yawns, man.
I know. I don't know why. Fuck. This sucks. But I would love to see Duff and Chad Smith out on tour with Ozzy. But I know Ozzy's not going to do a tour anytime soon.
Right.
Because Zach's back in the band.
Mm-hmm.
Zach's got a European tour coming up with Black Label. And then they've got South America dates, Central America dates with Pantera. And
then the summer coming up with Pantera.
Yeah. And I know this started as a Thanksgiving special podcast, and we've went straight music on it.
Yeah.
But
Hey, you know, we're thankful for music.
Hey.
Shout out Dwight.
And if you haven't, and if you are a Pantera fan like we are, and if you haven't gotten your pre-order of the Funko Pop Pantera, you can go to Amazon or the, I got mine from the PanteraStore.com. I'm that big of a fan of both Pantera and Funko Pops. So.
Yeah, I never even heard of Funko Pops till just a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Are they sponsoring this now?
No.
Oh, okay.
I've given them a lot of fucking money, though.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
They need to sponsor us, and you could do a reading for them.
Oh, man.
Funko Pops.
That'd be great. I'd have them displayed right here.
There you go.
It'd be pretty great. But on that note, we're going to call it good.
Want to wish everybody out there a happy Thanksgiving. As we record this, it's the Saturday before.
Yes. But
happy Thanksgiving.
And as you're watching this, tomorrow is Thanksgiving.
Right. Anyway, hope you get to spend the holiday with your family. If you have loved ones overseas serving the country, God bless them. Hope they all make it back safe so y'all can reunite and do it next year or whatever. But love all of our people out there.
And whatever you do, make sure you do it till you're blind.
There you go.
And you've just watched another episode of Stu Him Productions Presents
J&M, Solve the World. I have been James.
And I've been Matt. And you keep one fist in the gold, one foot in the gutter, and we will be seeing you.
Peace.